Well, welcome everybody. My name is Kevin Larson, Vice President here at New Earth. Really grateful to have all of you taking the time to join us today. We've got a really great conversation that we wanted to record because, for many of you, you might be asking yourself, maybe you've just been introduced to New Earth products, or maybe you've been taking them for a while, and maybe you're trying to figure out, how you can maximize those benefits. Well, we've put together a panel of advocates and practitioners that have used these products for a long time. It's one thing to hear it from me as a representative of the company, but it's a very different thing to hear it from a group of people who know health and wellness. And so the question before us is, how is it that New Earth products really are different? Are they different? Are they better? In a day and age when everybody is a lot more focused on what they're putting in their body and their health and maybe the nutrient profile that is feeding their immune system and their response, how is it that people can stay healthy, stay safe, and really focused and effective in taking charge of their own health? Because to be perfectly frank, you are the only one that can do that. You're the only one that cares as much as anybody else might. So let's take some time and hear from people that have been using New Earth products, represent New Earth products with clients, patients, and so many others. We will go ahead and go through and introduce some of these folks. We've got Barbara Swanson and Stuart Martin. We have Elise August, Charlotte Carrera, Tony McGinnis, and Emanuela Visson. All right, and also joining us from the corporate team, we've got Nicole Morgan and Justin Strauss.
Hello.
So let's take just a quick moment, and I want us on the corporate side to step back just a little bit, but we'll start with you, Barbara Swanson. You've written a book, Beyond Foods. You've helped so many different people with, sort of a platform of identifying their health and taking responsibility for it. And New Earth has been central in your, first foot with those folks. Why?
There is no other food that is as effective. There is no other food that is as safe as, in my opinion, the quality control of this company is unbelievable. So I never, ever have to think twice about, is anything in our product line going to be okay? I know it will be. It's safe. But ultimately, the algae is the basis of this product line, and the algae is the most ancient food on earth. It is the most nutrient dense food on earth. It changed my life completely. I was introduced to it for years before I ever took it because I was quite resistant to adding anything more to my life. And it did not take more than a couple of months before I realized, after I started it, that what I had thought was my really good health was not at all what I could achieve when I added this to my diet. It was shocking to me how much different I felt.
That's interesting. How many of you have also felt that same way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little
Definitely
bit about
me.
Anybody, feel free to just weigh in. Stuart, go ahead. And you also have a chiropractic practice.
This is
with a lot of your clients as well, right?
Yeah, for me, it was all about, and I think it always is. I can't imagine it any other way. That people, I guess it's possible that someone could analyze everything that is available through the algae, what it can do for our diets, and then go, okay, this is the nutrition I'm going to add. However, I don't think 99.9% of the time, I know it wasn't that way for me. It's, It's literally, I was 33 years old and I began consuming the algae. And about 8 days later, I remember I was swimming in a pool, and I had this like experience of like a lightning bolt of energy going through me. And I was like, whoa, that's the algae, you know? And so it took me about 8 days to begin to notice something. But once again, that I think had to do with that I was much younger then. And I responded more quickly. I think sometimes people who start in their 50s and 60s and 70s, they may not notice that energy lift as quickly. That doesn't mean that the algae products aren't cleaning the body, aren't helping you upgrade the way tissues function. So for me, it was very much about my personal experience. I had completed chiropractic school at the time. It's possible I had maybe another trimester to go. What I noticed, though, that it helped energize me in a way that no other food had before in my life, and helped me power my way through chiropractic school, completing that. And at that point in time, I was clear I would offer the algae in my chiropractic practice and our New Earth products, because no other nutrition product I had ever tried had given me that kind of energy, that kind of return of a kind of vitality that had been missing dramatically. So I knew that I wanted my patients and practice members to have access to that. And as time passed, I began to understand that, especially the algae and later on the mushrooms, both organic and in some cases wild, that we offer through our foods, fill the gaps in our diets. That even when we're eating organic foods all the time, and one study found that 85% of the time, an organic product has a higher nutrient profile than something raised conventionally, shall we say. I think what I began to understand is that there's a field called macronutrition, which is nutrients we need in large amounts to stay healthy: vitamins, starches, proteins, fats. On the other hand, there's micronutrients, vitamins, pigments, minerals, to name a few, RNA, DNA, nutrients that we need in very small amounts to stay healthy. And so that's where I began to focus my specialty from a nutrition perspective in my chiropractic practice, is in that area of filling those gaps in people's diets.
So that's really profound. You said something that I found pretty compelling. Charlotte, you've represented this product to a lot of different people as well. You work with people that, have some fitness goals, and maybe they don't even recognize the role of nutrition in those fitness goals. But he said something about an efficacious dose, right? The amount, the benefit is in the quality of the algae or in the quality of the mushrooms. There's a lot of products that may look similar, maybe on a shelf, etc., to what New Earth has to offer. How do you explain to somebody why New Earth is profoundly better?
Well, it's really interesting that you say that, because the bottom line is not all products are alike when it comes down to it. Not all enzymes, not all probiotics, not all, and these days, not all green is alike, right? I mean, back when I first started consuming the products, the reputation and the knowledge field of green and microalgae was really different than it is now. The consumer is a lot more knowledgeable. But the thing that I realize is when I talk to people every day regarding fitness, regarding their health and well-being, is I tell them, those products are not all alike. And the reason for that is it doesn't have the same micronutrition that the New Earth products have, which is that element that serves as as an energizer, as a synergistic. I know this is not a word, but it's potentizer, right?
Yeah.
And someone at corporate has even called it the algae is a team player. That it enhances everything that you consume and enhances the nutritive value of the food that you consume to a whole different level. I mean, all you have to do, and I'm sure anyone on this panel is remember when you ran out of product, right? And then maybe you went and got something else at the store while you were waiting, or you finally get your product in and you start taking it and you go, oh my God, this is why I take this stuff. And I liken it to a dimmer switch. Green is good, enzymes, probiotics, all those things are good. But when you have the New Earth products, it's like a dimmer switch that just enhanced everything. And it's just enough to kick someone over the edge in terms of their energy, in terms of their own health process, in terms of their own journey to feeling better about things. And also too, even in terms of fitness, because I work with people in a gym, fitness, they begin to go, oh my gosh, I have energy, but it's not a speedy type of energy. It's like core energy. I can feel it in my core that something is working to my benefit. I'm drinking more water. I can take in more oxygen. I can do all of those things, which to me is just like you can live life much fuller when you have the right nutrients in your system.
That's profound. Tony, you've represented just a number of different products on a business level to a lot of people worldwide. And what's interesting about that is, you probably have seen, yes, there's a lot of cars, but Bentleys really are better than Toyotas, right?
Right.
And tell me a little bit about that. And what about New Earth products makes them, Bentleys versus Toyotas?
Well, I think New Earth products are just so unique. It's just like what we have is totally natural. We know where it's coming from. We know how it's being processed. We know the company's been in business for many, many years. We know the product works. Like other companies, you'll get a product. It could be like the flavor of the month, and it may last, it may not last. It's just everybody's trying to buy because it's the thing. Ours has been this since we started. This is what we've had. This is what we always had. So it's proven it works. So we haven't got to change anything or make anything new because what we have is the best.
Yeah, and people that use it tend to keep using it. So that's another good sign.
Many, many years, people that I've met back in the 90s, and myself included, even though I tried other companies, this is where I've always stuck. This is my go-to product for me personally.
Clear evidence that it works really well. Elise, you've been with the company for quite some time. You are as passionate of a believer and purveyor of the message as anybody I've ever met. Tell me a little bit about what gives you that excitement and vigor to go out and talk to other people about New Earth products.
It's almost like I can't help myself because of all the things that the microalgae has done for me over the years. And although I first learned about it in 1990, I didn't come full circle to really learning about it and eating it every day until 2013, when we rebranded from the original and premier algae company. And I heard one thing along the way that just resonated with my learning and my education on the algae. And that was that nutrients from ancient nutrition actually get downloaded as information onto our DNA. So I'm really a science geek. And when I heard that, it's all about the science, I started learning more and delving more into the study of microbiology. The more I learned, the more I ate it, I had incredible things happen. And without making any claims, I want to talk to the people who are pregnant, who are nursing, because I had a condition called mastitis over and over while I nursed 3 of my babies 3.5 years in a row. And then I developed a lot of autoimmune issues because I was so depleted of nutrition. I didn't know about New Earth when I was pregnant, unfortunately. And Dr. Martin said a couple of things that really I want to repeat. He said, and you might not have heard it, cleaning the body. The algae goes in and cleans the body. He says the way tissues function, people don't understand. And so the connection of the nutrient download and these two things that he said, I just want to validate it, because what happened for me is the algae over time, probably about 7 years in eating this algae every day, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion, and it goes so deep and it's so cleansing that it began to cleanse out the issues that I had from my mastitis, milk ducts being clogged from breastfeeding. So for women that are going through pregnancy and breastfeeding, I highly recommend it. It's been a game changer for me with life and health.
That's fantastic. Emanuela, what do you think? When you see a lot of people, you've got a thriving business starting to really take off, and people are coming to you for that's what's interesting when you talk to practitioners, right? When somebody goes to the grocery store to pick up a product, they have heard about it on the radio or something. They're looking at the label and they're trying to figure it out. Maybe they ask somebody who is wearing an apron in the store. Well, the apron doesn't give anybody knowledge or powers, right, to understand. So as a practitioner, how are you separating and helping people understand New Earth products are really a step above, and they really will work for you? They're looking for benefits.
Well, I think the one thing I do tell people is the proof is in the pudding. When you see that my dog, starting with my dog, which that was about 8 years ago when I met New Earth and I met Dania, and she introduced me to this beautiful, wonderful company and these products. From changing his diet to a whole food diet and incorporating the acidophilus, the bifidus, the enzymes, and the body, he never suffered from diarrhea or vomiting ever again. So for me, when I'm talking to a pet owner, and also the other pet owners that I've helped them with their dogs, it's the stories. It's that's the testimonials.
That's profound. It's powerful. It's interesting that that sometimes we can't see things in our own bodies as people, right? We have a hard time because it's almost like we have a physiological issue seeing something that changes in us. And yet when we give nutrition, food to our pets,
Right.
Our pets use it, and their quality of life increases dramatically. They feel better. They act younger. Everything changes, and you notice your pet and you think, oh, well, this is great for my pet. Time out. We share an awful lot of biology. So it says a lot about you that you notice that from your animal and extrapolated, well, wait, this is just food. I can give this to myself, right? Which is powerfully important.
Exactly. My dog had so much energy. People would look at him and be like, how old is he? What is he, a puppy? I'm like, no, he's 9 years old.
Wow.
And now taking again another health issue that I had from him being so big, my dog, he took me for a few rides. He's a St. Bernard. And I winded up injuring both of my hips. I tore my labrums and I completely destroyed the cartilage in my left hip. I have now, going from the doctors 2 years ago, them telling me, you need a hip replacement. And again, that voice in me telling me, I can do this. I can put the hard work in do what my body needs, give it what it needs, and I'm not going to need a hip replacement. When I tell you, and I added the earth, I mean, I'm pretty much probably taking everything. I take mind, and I was focused enough to actually write my first book, which I think that it really helped me with my cognitive function. But going back to my hip, in 2 years that I've incorporated earth into my diet, again, with the rebound, I mean, I never stopped taking rebound. Incorporating now spectrobiotics, another probiotic into my regimen. I go back to the doctors twice so far this year. And the specialist I went to at the Hospital for Special Surgeries literally laughed at me and said, "What are you doing here?" And pointed at the other doctor and said, "Can you believe she's bone on bone? I am no longer limping." And again, it's the lifestyle. It's the food that you're putting into your body that really, and also the renew, the stem cell regeneration. So I love it. I can't say enough about it. And I really, my goal in this world is to share it with the world, my story. So hopefully I can inspire other people to really understand that you can heal, you can restore your health, but you have to put into it what it takes.
I love it. I love it. So she's inspired me to ask a group question. So here's the question for all.
Kevin,
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to kind of piggyback on what the associate before me, Ms. Basson, was saying, Emanuela. I have over the years had the opportunity in my chiropractic practice and outside my chiropractic practice, the chance to recommend our products for people's pets when they told me about nutritional challenges the pet was having, and I just knew the algae would help them. And I just want to kind of reiterate what she said there, that's the great thing about a person giving our products to their pets is pets do not have a placebo effect. They don't have it. You can literally give our products to a pet and watch its energy improve. Over a few months period, you can watch its coat get more luxurious, and a dog that couldn't jump up on the couch to sit and watch TV with you can jump up on the couch again. That's something that a pet owner can see and go, whoa, even when the pet owner's not eating the algae themselves. And I think that we shouldn't overlook that sometimes that's the way we get these products into people's lives, is through their pets' experience.
That's how it happened for me.
It's funny because people wouldn't hesitate to give their dog a French fry. But they'll really think hard about, well, is this algae okay? Well, yes, it is. Please. Here's a question for the group, and feel free to just mingle on this question together. What are your top three top three? I already knew the algae was going to be your number one. What is your top three products? Not necessarily in the order of 1, 2, 3, but what are your top three New Earth products and why?
Why three?
Okay. That's a really hard question. I'll say
three.
Top five.
Yeah, top five. I mean, that's a really tough one. Will I ever go without algae? No, it's the first thing I order every month. Will I ever go without enzymes? No. When I run out of New Earth enzymes, I've used others and they do not work as well, ever, no matter what brand I've ever used, no matter what price. Will I ever go without probiotics? No. I don't even try to buy others because the quality is so weird out in the stores. However, I also will never go without Rebound. I will never go without Energize. These are things that have made a tremendous difference in issues that I have had, that my mother has had, that my grandmother had, that when I don't have those products, these issues show up for me. Yeah.
What I'm darn sure to make sure that I have stocked, and we get the opportunity to try all of the stuff, but the things that I will not be without in my cabinet is at least our body microalgae, spectrobiotic, probiotic, and enzymes plus. I prefer to our regular enzymes, and Rebound is really the other one. And I rotate Energize and other and Flex through the mix, but those are very important to me.
Well, I'm going to categorize all the probiotics as one product.
Right.
So I can have my top 5, right? And I rotate Spectrobiotic in on occasion every couple months. I rotate it in, and especially if I'm going through seasonal changes. That's usually what I see, is people going through a lot of seasonal changes with their digestion, their sinuses, everything that's going on with them. So when the body's trying to adjust, then I always tell people to increase their enzymes and their probiotics. So enzymes, probiotics, and of course the algae, both of them. And I Energize. I would not go without the Energize. I have my own issues with my gums and some, and all the research that I've done on CoQ10 and the benefits of CoQ10 for soft tissue repair and such. And the fact that, like I said, the dimmer switch on Energize compared to any other coenzyme Q10 product is amazing. Yep. So that, and then I rotate in Earth and Defend and a couple other products, that I really love. And on a seasonal basis, I rotate those in. So. Oh, and the powder, the Essential Blend, I love that, especially the Essential Blend Plus, right? That's my first go-to thing in the morning with my handful of product and my drink. So, yeah.
Elise, do you want to go or do you want me to go first?
Well, I'll just be quick. I mean, for me, it's Rebound, Defend, Rebound, Defend, Rebound, Defend. Always, never run out of that, and Energize. Those are my top 3. Of course, though, that comes after the core probiotics and enzymes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
You see the theme here, Kevin? There's a theme going on.
No, really. I can't, like Charlotte said, I'm going to put all 3 of the probiotics into one, because I take Acidophilus bifidus and Spectrobiotic religiously, especially since COVID. I take 2 of each a day. And then I take the enzymes plus religiously with all my meals. And I've seen an enormous improvement with my digestion. The mind and the body, can I put that as one too? Because
Yeah.
Why not?
I did.
yeah, I take 4 of each a day because I'm like, the more the merrier. It's food, it's superfood for my body. And I just see the results from where I was 2 years ago to now. I mean, my energy, my focus, people are like, I don't understand. Like, how do you do all that stuff? How do you juggle everything? How do you wrote a book and you're doing this and you're studying energy healing and you're becoming a functional nutritionist and you're doing, you're coaching people. And I'm like, you know what? It's just, I feel like it truly has made me like a powerhouse with my energy and my focus. Rebound, definitely. And again, I take the Energize, the Renew every day. I take the Defend, I alternate it. Not alternate it, but I'll stop 1 month and I'll take it the next month. But that's pretty much it. Isn't that enough? I can't stick to 3. Don't make me do that. I can't do it.
Kevin, I'll jump in. And it's interesting. When you said 3, I was like, oh, I can easily do that. And then Barbara was like 5. I'm like, oh, 5. Oh my gosh. But it's so curious. Then I jumped in and I realized as I rounded out my 5, it's the exact products that I recommend most often in my chiropractic practice are my favorites. And that speaks to that some basic principles that I've always used since I first began consuming the algae decades ago now. Is that we start slowly. We don't start ourselves or anybody else with a lot of product, just a few products. We be consistent. we consume our algae products daily because that's what the research indicates. Those are where the benefits arise for people in enhanced immune response. And then over the years, experiment with the amounts and times of day that work best for you. So when I start a new patient, it's just with 1, 2, or 3 products at most. And I always include essentials, because I know with the essentials packets, they're getting a foundation for gut health. And I know if they're getting a foundation for gut health, that's going to lead to healthier blood, which is going to lead to healthier joints and therefore healthier nerve function, because as joints degenerate, it impacts nerve function. And that's where we chiropractors are most concerned. Mm-hmm. And so essentials is foundational that way. And then if it's a very young person, maybe in their 20s or even teens, I might even on up to into their 30s, I might say to them, okay, I want to recommend at least one other product. Tell me, do you think you typically need more mental energy or more physical energy? And whatever they respond, if they say, gosh, I need physical energy, I always recommend the body. And if they say, I have this fog over my brain all the time, then I recommend mine to go along with their essentials. And then I would say, anybody in the 30s and beyond, I'll also recommend, for the most part, Renew. Once some people, for whatever reason, they don't take to Renew, which has happened occasionally, then Energize is my go-to second. However, I'll always recommend Renew and Energize eventually for people. So that kind of rounds out my top 5 there: Energize, Essentials, Mind, Body, and Renew.
Okay. Well, for me, it's essentials. Every day I take the essentials. I rely on those because I guess you're getting 5 products in that packet. So I really rely on the essentials. But I do take Renew every day, and extra acidophilus, and then enzymes with meals. So there's times I'll add on extra Body and Mind. And I've taken the Energize, but that's not one I go to a lot. And I'm just starting to get used to using the powder, the actual essential blend. So, so far so good.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk research. As practitioners, as people that recommend products to large groups of people, what are some of the pieces of research that have stuck out in your head that give you the confidence to make these recommendations to people?
Well, first and foremost, within the edible microalgae report is the amino acid profile. And that always that just opens someone's eyes in terms of how closely that is paired to the perfect amino acid profile and the microalgae in that. And then also too, the fact that there's enough research on the B vitamins in the algae as a great source of B vitamins because it's balanced. I think is incredible. I always refer people to the Earth's First Foods website that has a whole compilation of research for the algae and the mushrooms and the botanicals that New Earth uses. And that always handles the conversation around, well, what's the research behind all of this? There's years and years and years of research, behind the efficacy of microalgae itself, let alone the other products that we have.
I love Dr. Bruno's quote, where Dr. Bruno says that there's still a treasure trove of discovery in fresh and saltwater algae, seaweeds. And I mean, the mushrooms, we can't forget the mushrooms, that ergothioneine, however you say it. I think I'm close. That's in the science and the literature, especially going after cytokine storm explosions. And with COVID, that's something that goes on in the body's immune function. So it's on PubMed.gov. Dr. Bruno has said it depends upon the category of which you put into Google what you'll find. But typically when you're looking for the success numbers of natural immunotherapy, the numbers are so high on the research on both seaweed microalgae and medicinal mushrooms that I often wonder why more people don't know about it.
It's a whole nother conversation we could certainly have. Literally, from my own personal experience. For me, Kevin, it's the research in particular. I mean, I love all the research. You guys know that. I'm a total research hound. But for me, in particular, the research on PEA and phycocyanin, those are two nutrients that are just not found really in anything else to any great degree. We are by far and away, the algae is the richest source. And what those two nutrients can do, and as more and more information comes out, is being proven to do, is beyond belief. They are foundational to how humans can think and function, and people don't even know it.
You know, regardless of the research and everything, the key that I always pass on to people is that these products are made from Mother Nature. They're sourced from Mother Nature.
Right.
So there's a complete balance in the nutritional profile. It's not made in a lab where, you know, vitamin C and D and E and everything is tweaked. It's got a balanced profile that the body will naturally see, because the body is made to consume and generate and regenerate and break down and utilize from Mother Nature.
Charlotte, that's the most important point. I so agree, because I am looking and doing product label analytics all the time. I get a lot of product brands put in front of me by chiropractors and other holistic physicians. And I literally turn someone away, a young girl who's battling Lyme disease. She's working with two different doctors, a functionalist and a Chinese herbalist. Between the two of them, this young girl is taking over 50 different herbs, synthetic vitamin isolates. She is going to hit an adrenal exhaustion wall. So just because somebody's credentialed as a doctor, it doesn't mean that what they are scripting their clients or patients is necessarily good for them, because of what you just said. Food is our best medicine. Hippocrates said it many moons ago, and it's so true. And this is what we have here. And this is why our products are so profoundly powerful, and the body needs to be ready for it. And that's why we go slow also with people, just introducing the probiotics and the enzymes initially, because the algae vibrates at a very high frequency, and you have to be ready for it to do the cleansing work that it does, and to do the helping work that many of us need from being exposed to all these environmental toxins and other things like that. So I love that point.
I'm going to piggyback on Elise's comment there just now too, because she mentioned, a quote from Hippocrates, known as the father of modern medicine. And of course, in the Hippocratic Oath, medical doctors give an oath that they will first do no harm. Yeah. And there is not, I think you will be hard pressed to find anybody in the United States that does not have at least one friend or family member who has experienced harm being done by some type of medical intervention. Even if it was given to save a life, it still had a side effect that was harmful. And I think it's yet another reason we can, with confidence, recommend the algae. We are, whether we're a health practitioner or simply a caring human being who happens to be an associate, we're recommending something that first does no harm. And that's a good start. Coming back to research, my two favorite studies happen to be the research that was done in the development of our product Renew. The principle of creating new tissue, or I should say of healing, when it comes to tissue, is that we're replacing old, damaged tissue with new, more vital and vibrant tissue. And the basic building block of that process is the pluripotent stem cell, otherwise known as an adult stem cell. And the proliferation of adult stem cells that the research indicated shows us that that product is going to offer a lot of hope to anybody who wants to augment their body's natural capacity to heal. Number one. Number two, my second, in no particular order, it's just what I happen to think of, that I think is the most amazing bit of research is regarding the research that found that people who consume the algae on a daily basis, and in the study that was done with 1 gram of algae, which is 4 tablets or capsules of the algae. And it was found that people that consumed the product daily, they had been consuming at least for a few months, experienced that within 20 minutes of consuming the algae, up to 60% of their killer T cells had left the lymphatic tissue and gone out into the tissue at large in the body. The T cells that remained behind, the other 40%, were found to have increased surface membrane proteins. And what we can surmise from that is that eating the algae every day in terms of immune function sends our troops out on patrol. And the troops that remained behind in the barracks get better weapons for when they go out on patrol. And I think that in any age where we have to concern ourselves with staying healthy, particularly now in a pandemic, people need this food in their diet.
Honestly, I'm going to piggyback on everyone because just the amazing transformations that I've witnessed and am a testimony to in my own health, in my dog's health, in the people that I've worked with, in their health and their dog's health. There's magic in these products. And also, I really have to say, like, just the improvements that I've seen in my own health, and now going back into exercising now and not being in the pain that I was, that's really my own thing that I share with people is my story, is the story of other people that I've worked with. I just hope and pray that we can get in front of more people that are having really a lot of, trials and tribulations with their health, so we can help more people out there. Because I truly, and that's the reason why I shifted my own career from being a recruiting director to becoming a health coach. And now I'm becoming a functional nutritionist because I want to help more people. And it's all food-based. And believe me, it's what I've learned through the blessing of having Dania in my life and all of you, everything that I've learned and I've been able to communicate to other people to really help them. That's all that I needed to see to really know that this is truly an amazing company and an amazing product that I really want. The more the merrier that I can speak to, the more that I can get in front of. I mean, there's other things that I'm trying to do. I'm going to be on a radio show. I'm going to be not talking about New Earth itself because I know we can't say the name. But But I'm going to be talking about the experiences that I've had with the powerful whole food supplements that I've been taking. And, you know, again, I am going to be working on other things because I really want to, you know, talk to as many people as I can.
That brings me to a really great question that we can close this out with. So to clients that may come see you, to people to whom you make these sorts of recommendations, what would be your statement to them if they said to you, well, why should I try New Earth products? Just give me a short snippet of why they should try it.
Because they will never know if they don't try. I could talk all day long and not hit anything that happens for them. They have their own body, their own experience. It's risk-free. They can get their money back if it doesn't work. There's no reason not to try it.
That's powerful. That's power itself. And again, you got to give it time. It's like everything else. You have to stick to the regimen. And again, it's also shifting your foods. But I've never, ever experienced such an amazing product that truly is magic in a bottle, basically. And it's food-based.
Well, for me, it's nothing. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right.
And, you know, for me, I look at, well, in the conversations that we're having right now, when I'm talking to somebody, they're telling me what's not working, what's wrong, what's, you know, why they're feeling the way they're feeling. So if given that, are you willing to try something that I know in the past many, many, many years works for me, and I've seen so many people that I work with that it makes a difference in their life, why not try it? Right. You know, you have, if you don't see, you absolutely, I believe that if someone consumes it for at least 90 days, they're going to know something, you know. So, and most people will say, I'm going to continue. So why not? Why not try it?
I think as well, another good reason why I use, at least from a practitioner perspective, and as a chiropractor, I'll say, look, you're getting regular chiropractic adjustments. Your tissues are getting increased spark. I want that spark to have the highest octane fuel possible to ignite with, and that's the algae.
Did we miss anybody?
Well, I can say that I don't really have an algae story per se. I've been eating algae and this company's products for approaching 40 years, and there's nothing that's been transformational for me. I haven't missed a day of work really for health challenges ever. The last time I was out was during college in the early 90s. And that's really about the last time I can remember really being so under any kind of weather that I couldn't go to school. It's never happened post-college for me. But over those same years, I've had the opportunity to get to know and work with everybody on this call, you know, for decades plus in most cases. And I've also been able to see people's experience with these products ranging from the, you know, mundane but positive to unbelievably transformational. And I think to pile on the sentiment here is you won't know what it can do for you unless you try. And there's no downside for trying, totally risk-free. So yeah, that's my story.
I just want to reiterate that Mother Nature doesn't fool you. Your body will know what it needs and what it likes. And it's an experiment with these products from Mother Nature to fine tune the best combination of products, the best use of products, along with hydration and movement and rest and a lot of lifestyle things. And so New Earth is really about, you know, supporting people to be bigger than their little symptom. You know, they have to grow, to expand, to be healthier than anything else, to be that powerhouse of energy. And the way you experience that is by trusting Mother Nature.
You guys have been fantastic. I actually, I've kind of enjoyed being quiet and hearing the knowledge that you guys have. It's fantastic. We got a great community of really good people that know what they're talking about. So I appreciate it. That's our practitioner panel. To those of you that are watching this and thinking to yourself, hey, these products sound functional. They sound beneficial. They sound like they could help me. You've heard it here from practitioners who've not only helped many, many people over many years, you've also heard that they have helped them. You always want to take a recommendation from a doctor that they do themselves. You always want to buy the car that the mechanic wants to buy. You always want to buy the flowers that the florist takes home to his wife. These are the things that these are recommendations you can count on. And these folks have shared a lot of great information with you. So please, they mentioned it, you have nothing to lose. Every single one of the New Earth products comes with a money-back guarantee, empty bottle. Buy it, use it all. And if it doesn't work for you, send it back. We don't want to take your money. The trick is, there is a trick. We know it'll work. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.